Live, going live, going live. Hey, we are live. And yes, I'm holding up a roadmap here, and we are planning. And I was going to reveal more details on the Angie and Chuck show, but I'm not going the official details yet because I have not booked anything yet. All right, let's do it right now. Let's get right down to the chase. Yes, California is opening up. I feel it's at a slow rate, but this is what we got planned. Okay. Reason I want to open up more by July is because I got a lot of investment on this California vacation. I've been planning for at least a couple of years. Even we know we're in a pandemic, uh, we made a lot of strides in the last year. In fact, March 17th will be 1 year anniversary where the rest of the United States were totally shut down due to the pandemic. And as of today, a lot of businesses are still running less than 25% capacity for in dining. Some dining rooms are still closed. Some businesses closed for good, and some businesses is wide open, 100% wide open, and basically that's where it is. I know this is a video that I wanted to make, and I was going to delay it, but when I reveal that this could have these decisions, if they do not improve, may or may not affect our California trip. Just before we even enter California in July, we already spent almost, get this, we will already spent almost just under $1,200 on an Amtrak train ride from near my area into Los Angeles Union Station, and that is that's basically 1/4 of my California budget. The second 2/4 of the budget will be the car rental. Of course, the car rental is going to be purchased in California, in the Los Angeles area, but we're going to return it back where we live because where I rent the car here, I can rent the car there and bring it back to one of our rental facilities here in town, which it's a plus for me because it's in my own backyard. That's a plus for me. So I'll have no problem returning the car in my neck of the woods, which is good. Then the third, fourth is going to be hotels. Actually, hotels are going to be running about the same price as the car rental. So it's going to be just between the train ride at 1,200 bucks, almost just under 1,200 bucks. Car rental, I'm estimating to be anywhere with insurance and all that stuff. And for 2 weeks, I'm looking at either at a $700 to $800, and I think the hotels that I'm planning to stay is going to be another $800. So there's almost 3 grand just on those items alone. That's a big that's about 1/2 of my budget already gone on that area. Now, here's the other part is going to be what I'm going to spend around the California, how much I'm going to spend in the California area. Is it going to be cheap? Is it going to be expensive? I've already estimated close to another $1,000 to $2,000 when it comes to food, amusement parks, and this is what we'll be talking about here in real quick here, in food, restaurants, and you know, maybe a couple bars or something like that. Who knows? A couple of sightseeing, souvenir shopping. Uh, all that stuff does add up. So basically, what it comes down to is this: just what I'm planning to spend in going into California, coming and staying around the California area, either in Los Angeles, San Diego, and maybe up in the San Francisco area. We're looking at possibly we will spend easily 5 to 6 grand on this vacation, no problem. Maybe less if I know how I'll find more budgeting. I'm just going to look in at maybe more budget hotels It's going to be in shady areas, probably, but I haven't looked at ideas for possible hotels in certain parts of LA. Always, I could do like I do. I do have a tent. I can blend in with the homeless, but the problem is your murder rate, your chance of getting murdered is even greater yet. So that's not the risk I'm going to take, even with a tent. I love tent camping myself. Okay, excuse me for a second here, but yes, uh, we, as of right now, as of this live stream, the amusement parks will be opening in a few weeks, in early as April 1st, some in mid-May. This is what I do not like. Uh, they're opening to 15% capacity, which is hogwash on that one. It's an outdoor venue. I understand keeping indoor rides closed for a while and some other indoor stuff closed for a while. As long as it's outdoor venues is opening, that's what it is. Outdoor venues is opening. I heard even indoor dining in most of California is going to be opening up, which is great. But they're still encouraging outdoor dining instead. Yeah, we'll decide that part when it comes because I got gift cards we're going to use on this whole trip. That's how we're going to save on food money because I got like almost $200 in gift cards we could use on this vacation. So when it comes to food, most of our food is prepaid already, which is great. Through gift cards that we got from Christmas, birthdays, and all that stuff. So we're good on gift cards when it comes to food. But there's going to be a couple of places that we want to eat. We don't have gift cards for, but we want to give it a try. And we don't have gift cards for it. And I'm not going to be asking for gift cards for it. So we're just going to pay out of pocket for those and experience it ourselves. What we want the governor hopefully to do, hopefully by end of July, this is what I like to see as a goal for California in a way. Open the stuff up, open the amusement parks up at 50% capacity and allow out-of-state tourists. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Out-of-state tourists. Mwah. It's going to be spending close to almost up to $6. Well, basically, a third of it, a fourth of it is going to be spent of it already on Amtrak. So that's kind of on Amtrak's end, where it takes to California. But the rest of it is going to be, so basically, I would say roughly $4 to $5 grand will be spent by us, maybe in the state of California, if we go way over budget or something like that. But I think we pretty well will have a budget anyway, because we are sitting on some tax refunds still owed to us. We're still sitting on a stimulus check that is still owed to us at some time down the line. There is stimulus checks going around again, and hopefully we get a piece of that, which we should. That could be a down payment for next year's vacation, which would be great. We'll put it to this year if we really need it, in case we kind of overspend. This also includes Las Vegas, but Las Vegas is a different issue. My concern is my one and only trip to California. I wanted to go off without some form of a hitch. Do we have a backup plan in place? 100% yes. We will have a backup plan in place if my amusement parks that I want to go to is out of play. What I mean by out of play is if it stays in what they call the red zone. Why do they call it the red zone? I thought the red zone is supposed to be a color for danger zone. But it's, I don't know, it's how they do these damn colors when it comes to COVID-19, basically. So what it comes down to is this. If it stays in the red, the parks will be open at 15% capacity, but it's only to the citizens of California, the residents of California. And I'm also hearing that it's only within 150 miles radius of the location. So it's not a very big draw area at all. But 15% capacity, what we call it a rainy day at a normal amusement park. That's what we call it a rainy day. I've seen parks basically abandoned when it rains. I've seen it myself a few times. I've been to a couple of these parks. When it rains, people leave. If you stay, well, guess what? When the rain clears, you got walk on after walk on after walk on after walk on, and it becomes more of your favor. I kind of like the 15% capacity with reservations, but it only restricted to, so basically I can still come to California, but as of right now, if I come to California, I have to put on a 10-day quarantine, which I do not like. It doesn't really help me at all because that'd be 14 days in a hotel room or 10 days in a hotel room. Then I got to start hauling ass back home. I'll just turn around, just head home right away if that happens. If it does happen, I will just turn around, head for home. That's it. Uh, then California will only see one money, and that's going to be basically what it is: the car rental. That's it. No more. I'll just hightail it at home, out of state. Get the f out of that state if it comes down to that. Just hope it doesn't. But they need to lift the quarantine in a way because of all these vaccines that's been going around. To some people, a lot of vaccines are not available. We do have the we do have safety precautions. I've been there, done this before. We have used mask. We have used our mask. This is the wrong mask. This is Angie's mask. It fits to her mouth more than mine. But basically, it's like this. We have our mask, and we have our mask. Excuse me here. We do have hand sanitizers. We do take temperature checks. I've done this at an amusement park, a small amusement park in Iowa, not the one in near Des Moines. This is up in Spirit Lake, what we call Lake Okoboji. That's the shirt I'm wearing right now. We done this at a small park there where they had mask requirements, temperature checks, and they had required hand sanitation before you get on the ride and after you get off the ride. And we've been there, done that. And that is the same procedure. I'm hoping that California, and when they do operate the rides, it's usually they ran them like for 10 cycles and shut it down for sanitation and cleaning. Then they run an empty cycle to dry it off. Then they run 10 more cycles with people. That's the normal procedure. And that's the normal procedures at most parks throughout the United States. Late last summer, when parks opened up around the United States back on July 4th. And that was the standard procedure. For some reason, California just doesn't have the brains enough to figure that out in a way, basically. I know you want to be safe. You want to keep your community safe. I get that. I understand that. But I seen throughout this last summer, I have seen tourists coming in from other states, even coming to Iowa, or people going out to other states, dumping their money into states to try to help support these businesses and amusement parks and these tourist attractions, and they try to do it as safely as possible. Lake Okoboji, and that's considered a haven for most millionaires. Yes, I said millionaires around the United States. Some of those homes at Lake Okoboji flat out averages at $1.5 million. Those are not cheap homes to live around Lake Okoboji, but that is a getaway for the wealthy. Basically, we're lucky enough to even have a small park and a couple public beaches there, in a way. So that was good on our end. So we got to experience the lake ourselves. And go out on that little boat, on our little vacation trip we did last year on the main channel. All that's over on the main channel of the Angie and Chuck Show. Just check our playlist there. Technically, that's what we have over on the main channel, in a way. So, California needs to open up more? Yes, in a way. Do they need these restrictions? Right now, it's a start. But how soon will they loosen them up more? I need these restrictions to be loosened up by mid-July, because that's when my plans are going to take a full effect. Technically, in about around mid-July, that we're going to take full effect of what we are doing, what we want to do, in a way, just to just kind of to see what we're going to do for vacation. And I've been planning this vacation Actually, I had this vacation planned back in 2010, but for other reasons, we had to stay locally. So I had to stay within 1 day's drive of home and other issues and all that stuff. It's just, crazy what could go on in a way. So yeah, it's just that this is a big money trip. This is one of our most expensive trips. And if California wants a piece of our money, well, they need something to open up a little bit more. Hopefully by July. These are going to be early. This is going to be April, or it's going to be April openings. These are May openings. So we basically got the whole month of June, and this is when I have to book. I had to book this in May. The Amtrak trip I'm planning to take to California will be booked in May. And what we are planning to do is depending what's open time I book, basically. So if we really don't get tickets booked and reserved ahead of time by, let's say, by mid-May or early May or mid-May, then we're just going to have to plan to do something else, because I'm not going to be able to take, unless I'm planning to unless I'm planning to download the tickets on my cell phone. That's probably the only way I'm going to be able to do it is through my cell phone, do the tickets that way. That's probably the only way I'm going to do, because here I can print the tickets here at home. I can print all my tickets here at home. I'm not going to bring the printer along. That's just too much to bring. Because on an Amtrak train, I got to pack light. I have to pack light, so we're going to pack what we need. It's not like a normal vacation where I can throw in a couple luggages for our clothes, a cooler, a tent, and some other stuff that we may or may not need, but we throw it there anyway. We're going to be traveling by train, so we're going to be basically a laptop with its case, a carry-on backpack with a change of clothes for Angie and I for a couple of days on the train. The rest the pack and the other two luggages will be stored in a luggage compartment in one of our train cars, or check in a baggage compartment in coach. If they plan to use that, unless they plan to use a baggage car time July rolls around. So that's our plans and that. Because even though if the parks that we want to go is Magic Mountain and Knott's Berry Farm, even if they stay at 15% capacity, and if the other park is at 15% capacity, maybe no rides, we'll see what we can do for there. Otherwise, we'll find alternatives that could be more friendlier for our needs. There is more than 2 amusement parks in California. There's something up in San Francisco we can go try up there. We can try that park up there if we need to go to an amusement park. If that's more open, we're going to keep an eye on that one. We'll keep an eye on down south in San Diego. We'll keep an eye on a couple of places down there. A couple of beachside parks. If I can't go to the one in California, we'll try the one down by San Diego, or we'll try one up near San Francisco. There's a lot of options still open for us, but it all depends on if they up the capacity and if they allow out-of-state tourists. They're going to still allow out-of-state tourists in California. Unfortunately, if you do, they recommend, or I don't know if they recommend or require. If they require this, then we're going to alter our Amtrak trip a little bit ourselves. Maybe we'll just take it up to Flagstaff, and that's going to be it for us. And we'll just we'll just do something around there instead. Just call off the California trip or all together. And this is the dream vacation I've been planning. I was hoping California will open up more. It sounds like they're going to do a slow opening. The vaccines, the people are getting a lot of vaccinations going around. We'll probably get ours eventually when our numbers are called, or when we are required ourselves eventually down the line, which is probably going to be within maybe within a month or so. We'll see what happens, and to see if we're going to be taking it or not. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. A lot of people said they're not going to take it because all they do is they get it anyway. Oh wow, I said an awful lot for under 19 minutes already. Wow. Okay, uh, like I said, I have a lot of riding on this trip. I got in my bank account. I got a good hunk of money in my bank account, so I don't need to go on to go to my monetized channel and beg and whine and beg and whine. I'm pretty well covered. I know how to do my budget. I know how. I already laid it out on a pen and paper already, and I double check my math. I triple check my math, and I find better deals. I find sometimes I'll switch before then when I start booking, that becomes final. That's it. And when I do the official booking, I'll probably let you guys know when I got officially booked, in case you want interested, something like that. But the main thing is, hi, Leslie, how you doing? Yep, that's right. That's could be another option in case we can't go California. That's another option. Excuse me for a second here. I'm gonna put it on mute here real quick. So we do this. Okay, sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. I got a stuffy nose lately. Yeah, Flagstaff, Sedona, and Grand Canyon. So that'd be a good option for us to go. That would be our backup in case if we can't go all the way to California. That, but right now we'll see what we got for bookings. When I do book, but my heart's my right now. If they do allow tours to go into California without, let's say, a quarantine, required quarantine, then I'm all in. I can always, like I said, I can find other stuff to do in Los Angeles area. There's a lot of sightseeing to be done. I can do more sightseeing. Just it's going to cost less money. That means more money in my pocket for someplace else, like Las Vegas, baby, Vegas, baby. That could happen. And just before we go on our trip, we're going to buy a couple tickets already to one of our local amusement parks near our capital, Des Moines. It's called Adventureland, and we're going to go there on the way home because they're opening up a new roller coaster this year, and they did a lot of changes around the park. So I got to show that out on the main channel, basically. So I'm going to have to show the changes over there, and those are one of our better videos over there, believe it or not. So that'd be good. That'll finish up our trip, hopefully. For, for our trip is going to be about 2 weeks, 2 weeks and a couple of days long. I'm pretty sure we will spend almost most of our budget on this trip, probably close to at least $6,000-7,000 on this trip. I may be off by a couple. I hope I don't go over. I'm not expected to go over anyway, because Vegas, I'm just not going to do a whole lot of gambling there. Maybe do that $20 experiment that another YouTuber has known to do in Vegas. Put $20 in, play max credits. I'll try that method and see how it works. I've not even tried it at my local casino. Maybe I'll try it at my local casino one of these days. Maybe one of these days. I don't know. I have to wait and see what I'm in the mood for. But yeah, California's gonna be a slow opening. I think it just came too little, too late. A lot of states are opening up. A lot of states are going 100% already. Iowa is at 100%, but not everybody is going along with it yet. Unfortunately, in Iowa, even places are open 100%, are doing great business, doing fantastic business, while other places are choosing to stay at 50% capacity or keeping their dining rooms closed. Then it's kind of customers are going to go someplace else. And if I know the economy, how the you know who really controls the economy is us. We the people controls the economy. We're the ones that decide where our money is to be spent. Officially to be spent, our disposable income. That's where we decide how the economy rolls around here. Not the federal government, not state governments, not City Hall. If City Hall decide to raise taxes and the state decide to raise taxes, the federal government decide to raise taxes, well, guess what? The economy is going to tank because that's less money for us to spend on the economy. You know, the restaurants, the entertainment, uh, all that stuff. Entertainment like bowling alleys, movie theaters, all that good stuff. Tours, attractions, something that keeps us entertained and also learn a little bit of a history of local areas and local flavors. That's something I've been itching. I want to try out in California. California has been very negative in a way when it comes to homelessness and all that stuff. I get that. That's the problem that the California voters have to figure out themselves, but they still haven't figured it out because they still vote the same people in all the time, and the problem continues to persist. And that so that's that's California's problem. But what we want to do is, if we're going to help the California, if Newsom, if Governor Newsom really wants to help California and its economy, you should start considering allowing out of state tourists to come back in the state, their wallets wide open. We can dump our money right. We can dump our money right in your state, and it's more money we spend at the businesses over there, at some of the local businesses over there, entertainment centers, all that stuff. That's more tax dollars that the government can really need. But then they kind of spend it in the wrong ways too. But that's another issue. My issue is I want to do my part to help another state's economy in a way only if it's open at 50% capacity or better without reservations or something like that at these amusement parks, and allow out of state guests to go to these parks by July, by mid July. That's how I'm hoping. Mid July. That's my target date. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to reserve these things till last minute. But I had to book my Amtrak trip by May to get the cheapest rates possible. Was almost guaranteed to get on the train because the train is going to be limited capacity. I'm getting a roomette, and once those roomettes are sold out, I got to pick another date. To find another date, either have to go forward a date or go back. I may have to go back, push it back a little further because there may be more openings. With my luck, Newsom is not going to open up the state at 50%. He's probably not going to allow out-of-state tourists to come in at these amusement parks anyway. Maybe that other stuff like local restaurants and bars and restaurants. Maybe it's some bars that has, that serves food, but who knows? You just don't know. But what I do know is I have to book this trip in May. I'm hoping everything will be open. I'm hoping 100% because as I'm hearing, they said the numbers are going down in California. Vaccinations is taking its effect. Negative, positive, I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? Or something like that. Somebody cares. Somebody's got to care out there. Come on, Chuck, get your head with it. Anyway, but yeah, I would love to come to California. It's one of my dream trips for years and years and years. I had this plan before the pandemic. Now, since the pandemic, I'm still planning this trip. I heard we have actually in Iowa we have eased our regulations, so even if we go out of state for let's say for 2 to 3 weeks, we can self quarantine with no problems, with no restrictions. But if we're planning to see a doctor after a trip, they suggested a 14-day quarantine before your doctor's appointment. That we do know, and we are aware of that. So basically, any doctor's appointments we have, we will delay those 14 days when we return from our trip. As going back to our employment, it's going back as ASAP, as soon as possible when you return from your trip. Basically, just make sure you wear your face mask, hand sanitizers, keep clean, social distance as much as possible. We get that. We've been practicing for almost a year, people. Just that California, they just California government just is like their thinking is like slow. I mean slow, slow thinking, basically. And the rest of the states around the United States, they're opening more. Actually, I just found out um, Missouri is going to have their stadiums open at nearly 75, 80% capacity when it comes to Major League Baseball. And that's not really a conservative state, really, to tell you the truth. But they're planning to open more in a way. So they're going to see more openings down there, which is good because that's one of our side trips I'm planning to do in June if things get screwed up with my work schedule. My work schedule has been getting screwed up lately, so but I got to take it anyway. I can use the hours, but the problem is I like the hours that I had. But yeah, so I don't know. It's another issue, no day, and all that stuff. Okay, so basically, I'm just calling out on Governor Newsom. Uh, do better if you can. Please, open the amusement parks at 50% capacity. I had no problem with it. I don't mind the mask. I don't mind the temperature checks. I don't mind the required hand sanitizers, all that stuff, social distancing, all that stuff. I've been there, done that. Everybody who's been going to these amusement parks when they reopened back in July of last year, they all been there. They all done that. Just for some reason, we just can't do it in California. Not yet, at least. It's only for local people only. And that's at 15% capacity, like I've said, that's like a rainy day. Even at a park at 50% capacity, it's still a busy park in a way. It's still kind of busy in a way because have anybody been, just one question real quick before I sign out. If anybody has gone to the amusement park, whether it's at 100% capacity, give me a yes or no, either in the side chat or the comments down below. What was, because usually it's Saturday when most parks will reach total 100% capacity. That means, what I mean by total capacity is this. All the rides has lines, even the worst rides has lines. It's when the restrooms has lines. Food stands has lines. Games has lines. There's lines to get in a line, just to get into a line. That type of lines I'm talking about. That's how I know when a park is busy. When you got to get in line to get into another line, and you have to get into another line, and you find out that's not the line you want to get into. You should have got on that line for that line and this line. Then you got the line for your ride you want to go on, something like that. I don't know. I've been one of those parks when it's that busy. I think it was Six Flags Great America a few years ago, and I think I did it at Adventureland during the Iowa State Fair. I found Adventureland got very, very busy for one time. I'd never seen it busy that one year, where basically there was lines everywhere. Even going to the restrooms had lines. Wow, imagine that. Yeah. So, but yeah, I know what 100% capacity is like. I've been at two parks that done there. Cedar Point was pretty close one year, but wasn't. It was still off a little bit. But otherwise, been at two parks was at full capacity. I mean, parking lot was full, lines were full, everything's full, theaters were full, people walk all over the place, all the restaurants were full. Even the worst places to eat was all full, and you didn't see Tyler Park and sitting down. It was like a few years ago. Now, last year we went to Adventureland. Park was open at 100%, but we was there, but it was only 25%. Park was only at 25% capacity, if it even got to that. Went to Arnold's Park, where it was set for 100% capacity. It was not even at 10% capacity. We basically had a park to ourselves that day in Lake Okoboji, at Arnold's Park in Lake Okoboji. And it's a small family-owned park, too. So basically, that was it. So right now, I think I'm going to sign off here. I hope that's my little rant. Hope you guys enjoy it. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't like it. And that, yep, it's anytime you go to the amusement park, it seems to be packed. Even at 50% capacity, it's still a busy park in a way. But still, even with social distancing, it still can be done. It still can be done. Uh, like I said, I have no problem wearing a face mask. We've been there, done that. Uh, I have no problem taking temperature checks. We've been there, done that. Last vacation, I went to three casinos, one amusement park. All did temperature check, face mask required. Yellow amusement park was an option. They didn't do the temperature check or face mask requirement. It was just your option to wear the face mask, but social distancing, because that was like the park I went to, the Adventureland Park. Uh, Basically, it had like less than 25% capacity in that. So where's our state fair? Our state fair usually in Iowa, it runs about mid-August, mid to late August. It runs for 2 weeks out of Des Moines. They say it's one of the outside outside of Texas and other state fairs. They say this is one of the better state fairs in our region in the upper Midwest because of the butter cow. And trust me, that butter cow has been vandalized many times by animal rights activists. In a way, get upset of a butter cow made out of butter. I don't know. Some of these people nowadays, I don't know. All right, like I said, uh, yep. Like I said, it's just like my little ultimatum. I got a lot of money at risk for this vacation. I know health is at risk too, but we don't have to worry about health reasons because we're pretty healthy. Angie and I, we're pretty healthy. Angie has asthma, and government already lied about that. People has asthma gets COVID. She had no signs of COVID. Her temperature checks out normal all the time. She just had a temperature check a week ago at a doctor's office, and her temperature ran normal. My temperature ran normal, uh, basically. So that was it. So we have normal temperatures for our foreheads or for temperatures. Uh, we had no problem with a face mask. We've been there, done that. Hand sanitizers. I mean, we're on our third or fourth bottles of hand sanitizers, hand sprays, sanitizers, everything. Everybody, businesses, hand sanitizers. We've been, like I said, we've been there, done that, and we know what we need to do to stay uh, social distancing, and we know how to separate. If the line goes like this, even with queue lines, if they skip the queue lines, every other line, run the queue lines, every other spot, you can still maintain 6 feet distance. And I mean, there's so many the queue lines at these parks are so huge. Sometimes they don't even on a 50% capacity day, they don't get filled up all the way. So you can still space out your people in a way. Just the parks knows how to do it. They figured out how to do it, but the government ain't letting them to do it. That's the problem, basically. So when it comes down to what we want to do, how much money we want to spend, are we going to take the health risk to go out to California? You know, life takes risk. This is my saying right here. Life do take risk. There is always gambles in life. What happens if that train derails on my way out to California? Yep, they say California will be open by summer. Right now, they're planning to be open at 15% capacity by April or mid-May, but they don't know when July rolls around because I think they're going to wait till after the 4th of July, where they think that's when the big crowds will stop coming, and unfortunately, towards the end of the season, that's when parks gets a little bit busier before the state fairs kicks in. So it may work at a negative because I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I've been to one amusement park on the 4th of July. Never again. I'll just put it that way. Never again at any size amusement park, big or small. Never again. and that. So, but yeah, like I said, for this is my most expensive vacation, and right now my biggest risk is before we get to California. Like I said, what happens if that Amtrak train derails and we became one of the fatalities in case that Amtrak derails and we're one of the fatalities? There's that possibility. There's that possibility right there. If we do make California, what happens if we get in before we're barely 30 minutes into our vacation in California? All of a sudden, bam, someone pops us. Boom, boom. You know how dangerous LA is. Come on, everybody knows that. It could happen. You just be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Technically, that's the issue. There's a lot of risk besides this COVID-19. There's a lot of other risk. What happens? I don't make it to the day of the trip. What happens if it happens to me before our scheduled trip? Safer than driving a car. Yeah. Wait till I get behind the wheel of a car. I don't really own a car, but I do have a valid driver's license and I do drive. Well, I just don't own a vehicle because for me where I live, I don't really need a vehicle. There's days I wish I had a vehicle because I like to go places. When we used to own our own vehicle, we used to go all over the place. But it just, for me, it's just too much of a headache. I just love to drive when it comes to vacation time. When it comes to vacation time, I love to get behind the wheel of a car and just go, go, go on the move, 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 and that. Actually, if you watch any of our vacation videos on Angie and Chuck show, you will see some driving videos. You will see places that we have gone, how much money we have spent, and even over on a monetized channel. I'll just tell you this right now. Over on a monetized channel, we will pay about 98% of our budget is already paid for. We come up 98%. The other 2%, even that is from our subscribers, and 2% is really small. But we come up with 98% of the budget, and sometimes we don't use all 98% of that budget. We'll have money left over. It's how we budget as we go along, too. I know how to budget as we go along. I try to plan ahead, but budget as we go along. When I think about the Amtrak trip, on that price, on that near $1,200 Amtrak trip, the meals are included. Non-alcoholic drinks is included. Alcoholic drinks is an upcharge. If I want to snack something on the train, that's an upcharge. But all full meals like breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the trains is all included if you buy the roomette or roomette or a family room, or you travel first class in a way. So I kind of like that deal. I can't pass up that deal. But hey, it's still expensive in a way. I probably could have done cheaper in coach, but then eventually, time you spend the money on your meals, your mouse just say you could have took a roomette. Technically, when you pay for meals for two people, especially when your average meal prices could for the whole day for 2.5 days can set you back a couple $100 just for the meals alone. So it's always best to have those. How many days one way to Los Angeles? Okay, from where we live to Los Angeles by train. If you go by train, it's about according to the route it has and the stops it requires. They do around 38 hours. About a 38-hour trip from let's say we're going to get on at Galesburg, Illinois. We're not getting on to Chicago because Chicago is 2.5 hours away where I live. So we're not going all the way to Chicago. We'll take an hour and a half trip south of us to Galesburg. We're going to get on there. I'll just book the train to get on there. Only thing I'll lose out is the benefits of the Metropolitan Lounge in Chicago. I'll give that up as long as I get on at Galesburg because I got people who don't want to go to Chicago, don't want to travel to Chicago. And yeah, so we'll just get on at Galesburg instead. Driving by car, if I can have two drivers, one sleeping and one driving all the way, we could probably do it in 27 hours. 27 hours. This route we have, according to GPS, 27 hours can be done. But you got to have literally two people, and that car is going to run constantly for for at least a day, all day. Be fuel stops along the way. If you stop for fuel, I would say give it about 9 hours, 29 to 30 hours. Uh, but I just grab a meal and go. Grab a meal and go. Stop at a restroom. When you fuel up, make it all one stop. Technically, that's what I try to do. Make the stops a minimum as much as possible. Otherwise, you can fly. Non-stop flight out of Chicago, you'd be in LA in just a mere 4 to 6 hours, depending on how fast that jet flies. And it's non-stop from Chicago to LA. That's probably the quickest way to get there. But we're not flying. Don't like to fly. But one of these days, if I want to go to Europe, I may have to fly. Not taking a boat over takes too long. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I'm hoping California will open up. Mostly, hopefully, when I book in May, I'll find out what's going on with California by when mid-May rolls around when I start booking. Maybe we'll see more rules relaxing a little bit. Maybe we'll see all these numbers will go down a little while. Just numbers will tend to go down in the heat of summer. In a way, remember, COVID-19 is just what we call another form of a flu strand. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because the numbers always rises during flu season, but they always seem to fall during the heat of summer. Basically, just social distancing, face mask requirements, and all that stuff. Just follow any face mask requirements that's still in play. Follow that to a T. Amtrak, you are required to wear a face mask except in the roomettes because you're in private quarters. That means your doors are closed, locked, and you're in your own private little sanctuary area where you can take your mask off. Anywhere else on the train, people who rides coach, let's say from Chicago to LA, they have to wear their mask on all the time except when they're eating or taking a shower. And that. You're lagging. You're kind of lagging there. Yeah, I'm having some internet issues on this end too. So I'll probably maybe pop up my other. Yeah, I've been having some internet issues lately around here locally because somebody was smart enough to cut a internet cable line a while ago, and I don't know if they got that 100% fixed or not. So that's probably going to be what it is. Because we had internet outages off and on for the past 3 or 4 days, basically. So it will go in and out from my end because of being of that issue that we had. So I probably had issues with it last night too. So yeah. So right now we're going to get out of here. All right. So don't know I'll be on tomorrow night or not. I'll find just make sure you guys stay subscribed, notification bell on. Right now, this is what I had to get off my chest. I think California can do better, but I know they want to stay safe. I get that, understand that, but right now, I think the opening is. I think the opening came a little too late. They should have tried this late last year. Just kind of experimented with a little bit with low numbers and see how it panned out. But right now, like I said, if California does not allow out of state residents to go attend these amusement parks and all that stuff, guess where the money's going? They're going to states that does welcome the out of state tourists. I think Iowa's going to benefit from this one again, in a way, because we had some big time YouTubers at one of our parks here in Iowa last summer. They said they were never coming back, but the pandemic says they're back. And guess what? The one guy who does roller coaster reviews finally got to ride the Gerstlauer Infinity First ever Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster is located in Iowa, not Knott's Berry Farm. That is a Infinity dive coaster at Knott's Berry Farm. Adventureland has in my home park here in Iowa, the Gerstlauer, the Monster roller coaster, is the first ever Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster, and the kids from, I guess, Guy or the kid that runs Coaster Studios finally got to ride it and gave it an 8.5 rating. And his coaster buddy said, "Get this, the Monster roller coaster has more hang time than hang time." Don't believe it? Go to one of my Adventureland videos over on the Angie and Chuck show. Go to one of those Adventureland videos. Watch the train traverse the whole track. There's a few places it nearly stalls out. And that's where hang time comes in. So that's what they're saying. That coaster has more hang time than hang time in Knott's Berry Farm. But I'll figure that. I'll learn that when I go to basically. All right. Please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe button, notification bell. I hope the governor would consider to allow more tourists to attend these parks in July, because that's when we're planning to come to the great state of California. Until then, I'll find out when I book. I'll find out what's open, and we will go. Went Colossus at Magic Mountain mid-80s and hurt my neck. Yeah, they remade that coaster. It's called they RMC'd it. It's now called Twisted Colossus, and it's two rides in one, basically. So you go up one lift hill, go throughout the whole layout, then you go up the other lift hill, you go that similar layout, then you go into the brake run back in the station. So basically, it's a long ride. People love it, especially if they're dueling, if they got a chance to duel or race. Basically, that was it. So yeah, so we're gonna get out of here. That so yeah, it was a wood coaster. Yep, they rebuilt it in a way. Steel coasters are good too at times, but it all depends. They can be rough. They can be just as rough as a wood coaster too. So it all depends when they build it and who's the manufacturer and how they build it. And that. So yeah. All right. Like I said, we're out of here. See you guys next time. When I feel like I got another rant coming on. This is what you call Chuck Chats. We'll see you later.